Hello, welcome everyone. Today I'm going to do some random jewelry retouching for one of my client. She gave me some images and she don't want some over retouched image. She just want them to be natural but beautiful. Okay, let me show you some of her existing files from our previous batches. You can see it's quite natural. The stones are natural, the retouching average types of retouching, not that much editing. This is something she want. This types of. All right, so let's start. First of all, let me open the horizontal images first. It speed up the process. This one and mostly the silver items first. Okay, 3 of them. Good. The previous image size was 1825, but this time the image resolution is quite good, 4000 by 4000. Let me down a bit. Okay, previously I have done some outline clipping path. I'm adding some feather, put them in front of the white layer, and same thing for other two as well. Making selection, add feather, but definitely the clipping path should be good quality. Yes, it's pretty good. Fine. But the wrong that I made is I don't have the selection for the stones, but I have to make a rough selection for the stones later. Okay, let's separate the shank area. You know the shank area, right? This inside part is called shank area. This is a shank part. The reason behind I am showing you some random retouching because sometimes we got images from clients, many images but in different angles of the images, but we don't know what part make the image beautiful. That is why I am showing some of my random retouching. So if you guys receive the similar types of images, now you know what to do with it, what treatment is needed for them. And once you try many different positions of images, many different angles of retouching, day after day you got the idea, and after a few days you don't need to think about it and spend too much time. You just start and do your best, and you will get the good result. This part is not the shank, this is another dimension. Alright. Now I have all the three shank separate. Alright. Let's duplicate the main layer, main ring layer. Alright. The ideal tone for the white gold for this client, this is the white gold tone they want their images to be. Okay, so try to make it a bit similar. Go to the filter, camera raw filter. I often use the camera raw filter for every thing like retouching, smoothing, color correction. Most of the time for the white gold I desaturate it to 90% exposure. Increasing exposure as far as it similar to this one. Contrast 10 to 15, white 10 to 15. Okay, now it's pretty similar. Okay. And for the shank, this is the shank. You can see I have prepared a gradient for this, like dark in this portion, dark in this portion, whiter in this portion, whiter in this portion, and in the middle there is again some gray. Okay, let me see if I have the similar gradient. Yes, it's quite similar, right? Sometimes you need to customize it. Alright, it will work, I think. So this is the shank layer. What I usually do is put some transparent layer in front of it. Okay. And then link it to the layer behind it. And then whatever I do in the front layer, it follows the selection of the immediate bottom layer, like this. Sorry, anything I do, it never goes outside of the selection of the bottom layer, immediate bottom layer. So I have the freedom to move my tool. Okay, let's apply the gradient in this transparent layer like this. Wow, not that bad, right? Same thing with the other images. again transparent layer, and then link it with the biometric bottom layer and add the same gradient to it. Where is the third one? Okay, here it is. I need the selection of the stones. Let me make some selections. Now I have the selection for the main stone. Now let's make selection for these stones as well. I'm overlapping the path because I have the outline already, so that will help me to make the selection by overlapping it. It will make the process faster. Okay. This is the biggest stone, big white stone, and for the smallest stone, what I can do is create a new layer, brush tool, and make it as large as needed. Brush mostly hardness 50%, and then make a rough selection for these stones. Once we press Ctrl and click to this layer, I'll get a selection, and then I can separate these stones by that selection. This is a simple way that I follow for rough selections. Alright. Okay, so now I have the selection for the small stone as well. Okay, so now I have all three stones separated. This is the green stone, this is the white small stone, and this is the big white stones. Okay, these two is similar color, so I can merge them together. Apply that gradient to the shank area. Alright, looks good. Now if we see properly, then you can see I've used some types of strokes there. That makes it good. How can I create it? Make a transparent layer, link it to the bottom. Okay, now brush tool, select the black brush. Okay, for this item it will be easier to understand. Just simply I press shift and click top to bottom. I get a line like this. Okay, now what I can do is duplicate the layer, link it again. For one of them I use motion blur, horizontal, angle 0, and distance like, let me try 30. Yeah, good enough. And for the top layer make the opacity lower. Play with the opacity. Okay, make it a bit thinner. Not that bad, right? I can apply some Gaussian blur. One, two, yeah, good. I can now duplicate it if I want to use it in a different position, and for this one it's good to see like this. Alright, and now for this dimension it looks faded. The dimensions are not clear enough, so make a rough selection for that part as well. Okay, apply some feather. Now camera filter, I have to make it smooth. It's a bit noisy, so I can reduce the noise. Noise direction, luminance 50, luminance detail 36. Now you can sharpen it a bit. Okay. And then use some solid color, like set it the foreground color to white, brush, opacity like 20 to 30. Make the brush soft. Brush this portion, and this portion must be a bit darker because it's usually touch the floor. If not, so use some gradient in it as well, but I'm not using the gradient. Let's apply this stroke to the other two. For this one, okay, here are the strokes. Okay, apply one here, then one here. Yep, not bad. Another one here. Yeah, very good. Same thing here. Clip this part, make a selection for the same treatment. Don't judge at this moment because it's not finished yet, but when I finish it, it might look good to you. Alright. Alright. The last one, where is it? Here. Okay. Apply the same strokes for this. Not bad. Okay. Another disgusting thing for the IDM. Basically, I'm not using any paid software, so the free version is good enough for me, and to use it free, this few embarrassment. Alright. Nice. Okay, good enough. Now I have to play with the strokes. Let's try with some stroke, but I have some issue with the stroke. Let me show you. But you can manage with some other techniques. Okay, I just click the edge of the shank, bottom side, and add a new layer at the top of all the layers. Set the brush size to suitable size, like it depends on the resolution, image size of the resolutions. For these images I think 4 to 5 is good. Let me check. Size 5, opacity and flow 100. Now go to pen tool, click the right button and stroke path, set brush, simulate pressure on. The pressure is not working on my version of Photoshop, but it's too much hard and thick. Need to be more thicker. Let's the brush size to 4:3. Okay, same thing. Alright, it's good. And the brush pressure is not working for my version of Photoshop, so what I can do is apply some motion blur in it. Angle 0, distance 15, too much, 10. Okay, good. Now it is smoothly the edges. Now see, not that bad, right? Opacity 60 to 70 and duplicate it and move a little bit on the top and inverse it, so it will create a dimension. Alright, that's good. Same thing for this one as well. I don't want this to be in the top area, so it is these parts. Duplicate, bring it a bit upward and inverse it. Oh, nice. Same thing for the last one. Where is the last one? This is the last one. Okay. Okay, we can apply the stroke to this area as well. good. Now what I need to do is the color correction of the stones, like this, some blue hue on the stones. But when I desaturate to make them silver, it applies to all of them. So the same thing I showed before. Need to make a rough selection for the stones. Add a new layer. Set our brush color and opacity flow 100%. Hardness average. And make a rough selection for the stone area. Here some more stones. Oops. More stones. And for this one, it won't take too much time to make a proper selection of these stones as well. Alright. Okay, now I have the selection for all the white stones. Bring it to the top. Alright, so now I have to match this one. Let's try again. Open the camera filter. Probably I have some template. Let's see if it works. This is a stone color sample, and this is another one. I can customize this one a bit. Apply this one and then add some more blue hue. Vibrance, increase the vibrance, saturation. I need to increase the blue, not the purple. I guess it will work. Good enough. Need more crisp. Okay, let's see the result. Wow, not that bad. I can also apply Unsharp Mask. That's good enough. I don't have the selection for this one as well. Let's make the selections. Okay, this is the stones. Now I have to have selection. I can apply the same settings of camera raw for the stones here as well. I believe the result will be good. Previous conversation. Here it is. Good enough. Alright. The last one. Okay. We can brighten that green one. Add some syrup into it and just make it bright. Alright. I have to keep the stones in a separate layer, and I can group all the metal layer in a group. I can now merge the group elements by merge visible. Shortcut Ctrl Shift Alt E. And now I have to apply some more filters. I can apply noise reduction 50, sharpen 16, radius maximum 2, details like 30 to 40. Okay. Let's apply this settings to other as well. Okay. It seems we can use the strokes for this area too. Motion blur. Yes, much better. Sorry, I'm going to use the same. Now I can create some shadows. Look, it's not properly horizontal, right? Let's make it horizontal. Okay, good. Now add some shadow. In the corners, I can use some feather. Yes, a bit more. Make it natural. You can use some hard shadows for these touching areas, like this. Good enough. But this ring, it's quite thick, so it seems the shadow should be here as well, so I can make a rough shadow for this area. Alright, now it's perfect. Applying the same shadow for this thing, but I don't need the shadow of these areas, so here is it. Thing is good. Sorry, this one. Alright. Now here is the unedited version, here is the edited version. We can also apply some more sharpness or contrast to the metal if you think that is important, like this. See the difference? Alright, so that's it for now. I'm signing off. If this technique was helpful to you, any of you, that is my pleasure, and if anything is not clear, or if you want to watch similar random videos in future, please let me know. If you want, I can show or publish these types of video every day. Thank you for watching.